I want to just talk to you about the prophetic and different things that I think you need to know. If you're a person that is new to the prophetic, I want to talk to you about some prophetic pitfalls, kind of my journey in the prophetic, and kind of what I experienced. I want to tell you, first of all, I was not somebody that would have been chosen to be a prophet. I believe there are two ways you're called to be a prophet. I believe you're called to be a prophet through the womb or through the tomb. Jeremiah Johnson actually came up with that, but I agree with him. He said he believes that some people are born prophets, which means they were prophets in their mother's womb. They always had a childhood full of dreams and visions, and they just had a supernatural childhood. And that's how some people will know they're prophets, because that's their experience. They had an angel come to them and all this different stuff. Had an unusual childhood in that way. But then we have those people that are, they were prophets once they got saved. And I believe I was always anointed, but my prophetic call did not activate until I got saved. When I got saved, I was Baptist, and so I did not know too much about the prophetic. I was Baptist. I was Baptist-costal. I was Pentecostal and Baptist, and I went to a Baptist Bible college, and so I was unusual. But I did have that prophetic grace operating in a high dimension in my life, because one of the ways I did is because I would be writing blogs and articles in the prophetic blogs and articles. I would be prophesying stuff like I prophesied about the Supreme Court and homosexuality, about legalization of that. I prophesied about the second term of Obama. I prophesied about a lot of different things, even before I knew anything about the prophetic. And so these are things that God had shown me and I wrote about. I had a ministry called The Voice of the Prophetic, and I was always prophetic, but I just didn't know it. Fast forward about 10 years, about 6-7 years ago, I got encountered Matthew Stevenson, a lot of other people in the prophetic, Randy Clark's and Dave Wagner's, different people. And God began to activate this prophetic grace on my life. And it went to a new dimension. Do you hear what I'm saying? And so I began to go through what I call prophetic training. And these are what I learned. I learned these things, that just because you're a prophetic don't mean you're called to the office of a prophet. Many people think that because you are a prophetic person, that means you have dreams, you have visions, you have God speaks to you, you're a prophet. Everybody wants to be a prophet nowadays. I don't know why. It's a trendy thing, but it's a very dangerous thing. It's a very weighty thing. You're called, the way you know you're called to be a prophet is through people saying you're called to be a prophet. Prophets, people prophesying it over you, people speaking it, people saying it, God saying it, God giving you dreams about it, God's really speaking to you about it. Then you have an unusual prophetic encounter, some type of unusual prophetic call. You feel burdened all the time. You feel a conviction of sin that is unusual. You're usually way down with the world problem. You're usually a very strong intercessor. These are just a few signs that you're called to be a prophet. You can see very well into the future. God shows you things in the future. These are one of the signs that you're called to be a prophet. And when you're called to be a prophet, you must be under an apostle, under strong pastors and teachers. You need a church home. You cannot be a prophet and not have a church home. You need to be under somebody being corrected, because if you're not corrected, you will become a Jezebel. The number one enemy to all prophets is the spirit of Jezebel. This spirit of Jezebel attacks prophetic churches, prophetic people, and prophets in general, and it wants to silence their voices and shut them off. So if you're a prophet, you're going to go to war with the spirit of Jezebel. So you have to understand you need mentorship. No, a prophet without mentorship, without an apostle, without a spiritual father or mother, you will be dangerous. You need an Elijah to be an Elisha. You need an Elijah, because if you don't, you will make a lot of mistakes. You will hurt people. You will traumatize people. You will make a lot of crazy mistakes in your call. You will be a wild person. You need mentorship. You will, one time I moved to Africa. I just moved to Africa because I heard the Lord. I didn't understand. I just heard Africa. I didn't know that was God showing me that one day I would minister in Africa. I would have an anointing for Africa. I didn't know that. Now I do. I moved to Africa, sold everything I owned, caused a lot of damage to my personal life because I did things like that. And I didn't have mentorship. I didn't have somebody right now to teach you what I'm teaching myself. What I'm teaching you right now, I didn't have that. and I was just radical and on fire for the Lord. But my zeal, I didn't understand who I was and what I was going through. I didn't understand why I would walk in places and be so sensitive, and I didn't like being in environments because I could discern everything that's going on. Now I know how to stand under that. Now, when you're a prophet, you need hobbies, because sometimes you can get spooky and weird if you're a prophetic person and you don't have hobbies. So I like to watch clean movies. I like to go out and eat. I like to do those things because they help me be normal. When you're a prophet, you're not normal. You're not going to be like a pastor or a teacher. You're not going to always fit in, because God deals with you in such unusual ways. Look at how he dealt with Ezekiel. Look how he dealt with Jeremiah. Look how he dealt with Elijah. I mean, he dealt with prophets, and he deals with us in unusual ways. So you got to understand, you're not going to fit in. You never will. And so these are just some short lessons I've learned in the prophetic, under my journey in the prophetic, that I pray encourages you, that challenges you, that helps you grow and go to the next level in your prophetic call. I want you to share this with somebody. Prophet, well, God bless you.